With us in the studio is Secretary of the Trade Union Congress, Lagos State Chapter, Comrade Abiodun Aladeton. It's nice to have you join us, Comrade.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Great. Now, Nigerians have been watching keenly to know the outcome of the planned strike between the federal government, between the dialogue between the federal government and the trade unions generally. Now, talk to us basically. The minister has not disclosed to Nigerians what the issues, at what point, where did we come to and all of that, but from what we get, there's no agreement yet. Why is there no agreement? Talk to us.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to appreciate Nigerians for their patience and understanding, particularly for standing by labor at this
Are you comfortable keeping this, up there? Just
okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
For
you can leave it so you can feel free.
For
Thank
having
you.
confidence in the labor movement. I think what we've witnessed since yesterday is a clear case of a party coming to negotiation without a clean hand. And how do I mean by that? In negotiation, you don't come and address position. You come and you address interests. What the labor movement did was to actually explain to the government that the recent hike in electricity tariff and that of the price of PMS has impacted negatively on Nigerians and workers in particular. And the reason for this is that, if you remember vividly recently, we just had the minimum wage of 30,000. And after that, you have a VAT increase from 5% to 7%. And after that, check the inflation statistics in Nigeria is at 13.22 as at today. What about the unemployment rate? Is at 27.1%. So what we are saying is that from the way the economy is, as a result of the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has actually affected the economy badly and even the world of work, the impact is very, very great on the Nigerian people. We are saying that this period, it is insensitive of the government to have embarked on such a policy without carrying the critical stakeholders along. And this is the position of Labour at that negotiation, trying to prove to the government that this policy has impacted negatively on the Nigerian workers. But whereas the government is busy explaining a position they've already taken, because as far as we are concerned, you can't call that a negotiation. You don't come to a table and start explaining what you have done.
What will be a negotiation for the NLC and the TUC?
Yeah, like I said before, I personally, I happen to be a conflict management expert. I know in negotiation, what parties do in negotiation is you come and you discuss interest. Interest in the sense that you have to look at the other party's view and look at your own so that both parties will have a common ground. And at the end of the day, you have a peaceful, amicable settlement. Such type of settlement is usually implemented even by both parties if you both agreed on it. But what we have as of yesterday is government explaining its own position why we have done this. And when you go for negotiation, you don't just come like that. What you should be doing is trying to look at the other party's angle. Is it making sense or not? If you think the other party is making sense, then there is also a reason for you to empathize with the other party. And I think what is actually missing in this case is we have a government who does not even empathize with an average Nigerian. As we speak today, people are suffering. The COVID-19 effect is still very, very there. And I can assure you that most people won't recover for this for a long time to come. In the world of work, precisely, we have cases of laid-off of workers. We have cases of redundancy. The level of dependency ratio now in Nigeria is on the high side. So what we are saying on the basis of these statistics is that when you make policies, particularly for our leaders, there must be a basis for making some of these decisions. The timing, as of today in Nigeria, the timing of this particular policy, it is very, very wrong. And we condemn it in totality.
If we have to talk about the timing, what timing would you feel, if that has to be part of your negotiation, what timing do you think is most suitable for this?
I think this question is very, very apt. Apt in the sense that the fact of the matter remains that this issue of fuel subsidy removal has been a recurring decimal. I can remember I started during the 80s, and the script being played by the government since 1980 to date remains the same. All they tell you is that we have to remove subsidies. In 2016, when this government came on board, they said they've removed the subsidy. If you remember, the price was moved from, I think, 140, from is it
86
or thereabout to 145.
Yeah.
We didn't say anything, believing that, okay, fine, let's move on once and for all. But we are here today again, saying the same thing. And let me tell you, there is a trust gap between Nigeria and the government. Whatever the government is saying now, people don't really want to listen because you don't trust those who have been saddled with that responsibility to do this job. During the Goodluck Jonathan administration, if you remember vividly, the same reason they gave is the same reason they are giving now. And what they said that whatever they get from the assets that will be realized from the savings from the, what is it called, the subsidy, they will channel it into infrastructure, they will channel it into healthcare, they will channel it into other profitable ventures. But what happened to Shopi? We all know what happened to Shopi. Even there was a time in the history of this country, there was corruption issues surrounding Shopi as a program. So what we are saying now is that there is a deficit of trust in Nigeria. And I think not until when you have a government that will say something and do it, that is when the people begin to have confidence in that kind of a government. But so far, so good. Nigerians are angry, Nigerians are sad, and we are ready to resist this policy.
All right, now the industrial court has issued an injunction against going on strike. I wonder how the unions are considering that.
Yeah, I think yesterday when we had that news, to some of us, we just feel this is an avenue for the government to break us because this policy is anti-people, and nothing in this world can stop a group of people who have come together to say enough is enough. We've had cases in this country where you have even court judgment, court injunction, even the government itself that is supposed to be the custodian of it, don't even obey it. So what we are saying here is that, fine, you must have gone somewhere and obtained one injunction. To some of us, as far as we are concerned, is a black market injunction, but we don't really care. But what we are saying is...
Why would you call it a black market injunction? It's an injunction from the industrial court that you have gone to sometimes to seek redress for some things.
Not just once,
yes.
about 3 times.
What we are saying is, there are certain injunctions you get with bad intentions. This intention is bad, is to hurt Nigerians, is to ensure that we don't have the freedom as guaranteed by Section 40.
So you're saying you're going to ignore the injunction?
As far as Section 40 of the 1999 Constitution is still in place that guarantees freedom of people to aggregate together, I think on the basis of that, come September 28th, we shall embark on the definite strike and mass protest.
All right.
From the reports we're getting, on Monday, there are still going to be negotiations, talks with government and the NLC as well as the TUC. What should Nigerians be expecting on that day?
Yeah, I think from the directive we've been given from the national body of the TUC, we've been told that Monday, 28th of September, there will be a strike and as well as a mass protest rejecting
in spite of the fact that the government is still going to hold negotiations?
That's what I'm telling you, that based on the directive we got as at yesterday, because the way the union is structured, there are organs. So if there is going to be a change, definitely it has to come from the top. But as at yesterday, what we've received so far is that we should proceed on the action come Monday, 28th of September. So if it's going to change, definitely we'll get the official corresponding.
But is the body not concerned that after months of the pandemic and Nigerians trying to get back on their feet, they are going to hold a strike that is going to ensure that nothing is going on? Aren't they concerned that this could deepen the situation instead of alleviate it?
Yeah, I think as labor movement, we are seriously pained and we are very much worried that despite the challenges of the COVID, even this government is still inflicting more pains on Nigerians. And like I said before, even in several fora, in a few days' time, this country will be 60 years old. It is very unfortunate that we kept rolling on this circle right from independence to this very moment. And I think it is time for us to sit down and engage ourselves at 60. Let's begin to talk to ourselves. How best do we think we can manage this country? Because from the way this country has been run and managed so far, it is very, very unfortunate that we've not really made any progress. Because if you take a look at the statistics coming out from the economy, even the CEOs, presently their trust in the system has declined greatly. And like I said before, if you check the number of jobs that we are losing on a daily basis, it calls for serious concern. So what we are saying is that this particular time, people are going through a lot. And the government is inflicting more pains on Nigerians. So if it takes Nigerians to come out and say, okay, fine, let's reject this thing and correct this once and for all, I think the best time to do that is now. It is not something.
So a strike is the only way to go?
No, what we are saying, see, strike is an instrument. It is an instrument. It is a means to an end. What we are saying, we as Labour, we don't really like to bring the whole thing down. We are not like that. But that's the general impression people have. No, what we want is we want a system that works for everybody. Presently, what we have is not working. It's only working for some selected few. And unfortunately, it's like those in power go to a different market. I don't know that. But what I know is that if we attend the same market, the prices of goods and services, they all know, has skyrocketed. So what we are saying now is that this experience, we are united. Presently, Nigerians are united in this pain, in this suffering. And I think on the basis of that, people are going to come out en masse on Monday to pass the message very clearly to the government that enough is enough.
All right. Talking about the people themselves, a lot of people have, because if you feel the pulse of reaction from the people we engage, and also sometimes on social media, certainly people voicing their minds, a lot of people are, do you have concerns that you don't have the support of majority of so many number of Nigerians when it comes to going on strike at this time?
Well, I think from even as I yesterday, at the level of the state, we met NLC, TUC, as well as all our civil society, and I can tell you categorically that the morale of people is on the high side. People are angry in Nigeria. People are very, very angry, and they are willing to come out en masse. I think what is only missing before now is before the issue of the hikes, a lot has happened in the country. The issue of the VAT, the issue of inflation, unemployment rate, and all that. But presently, with this hike, it's like you've pushed Nigerians to the wall. There is no place for them to go anymore. So as I speak, all they are just waiting for is just the leadership. And that leadership is what Labour will provide come on Monday. And I can assure you, even before coming here, somebody said, comrade, is this how you are going to allow this country to continue to be? That look at it now, we can't afford anything, prices of everything are skyrocketed, what do we do? You know, I felt so very bad because people are looking up to Labour for direction, for guidance, particularly at this critical period. So it behoves on us as leaders to actually take the bull by the horn, and I think that leadership will provide it for us.
All right, sorry, coming on the table of negotiation, one expert, like you said, you are you are a specialist in that regard. Now, a hike has come when it comes to electricity and fuel. Would you be in support of total removal of this, or total reversal, or some percentage, or some amount, marginal as the case may be?
You see, like I said before, what really matters is what are the causes? Why are we at this particular position? There are a lot of questions that we are. You see, those underlying things, if you don't address it, for example, you are saying deregulation. When you mention the word deregulation, you just assume an average Nigerian who is on the street understand what when you say deregulation. To them, what really matters to them is what's the price of garri, what's the price of bread on the street. You understand? And to the best of our knowledge, when you say you deregulate, it means you are taking your hands off and allow the system to operate freely. But we know from our record that that is not the case. Even the so-called privatization of the electricity sector. You claim you privatize the electricity sector, but let the government mention the amount they've used in the to intervene in the electricity sector. They say it's almost about 1.something trillion. So you see, with all this contradiction, when you go to negotiation, by the time you bring your facts and figure, the other party will begin to look at you as if you are not sincere because of your past history, your past record. But if you have a situation whereby people come together and you lay the facts bare, okay, fine, this is what we have, this is why the refineries are not working. If we spend money on the refinery, this is what we get. But so far, so good. Government is not saying anything about it. Refineries are not working. You have a crude, you take it outside the country, you sell it off, you go back, you buy it, and you bring it back, and you sell to your people. I think on the basis of this, since Nigerians know that this country is very rich, it will be difficult to convince Nigeria why they should continue to buy fuel at that price. And that of electricity. Fine if you are to regulate. What about the metering system? Nobody is saying they can't pay for light if they have it. But the situation is, we don't have light. The higher the price, the higher the darkness, you understand? So it is very, very disturbing that the metering system, the erratic power supply is still very, very dear. You are yet to address it, and every year or every, what is it called? Is it 3 years or 4 years? You just come with increase in electricity tariff, and you expect the people just to keep quiet. I think that is very, very wrong.
Right. Comrade Abiodun Aladeton, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you,
on the
Thank you
breakfast
so much.